Okay, welcome back to the main race after my game crashed for the 561st time. Why is stream not appearing? Oh, it's actually long. There we go. Okay. Quali is over, and now on to the main race, and we can get this Belgium Grand Prix underway. As you can see, the order from Q1, Q2 and Q3, and yeah, let's just see what happens today. Tyre choices for this one are mostly mediums, but Dark Raven, Goncalo Silva, Keanu and Infinite Algae are all running the harder compounder tyre compared to the rest on mediums. But excellent qualifying from Goncalo Silva and Mike in P4 and 5, but Koru is going to have to defend from two Mercedes on the race start, so if he gets past one, he might be under a lot of pressure from the other one. Yeah, let's just see how this one goes. Hopefully I don't crash. There's no promises, and I would quite like to go watch the Saints game, so don't expect a stream if my game crashes. But apart from that, this should be an interesting one. You've got KP and Dylan fighting from the back, and quickly there is your predicted pit stop strategy. A lap 10 to 13 boxing for both hard and medium tyres, so both as durable as the others, and Koru is taking it very slowly on this starter lap, and everyone is so close because of the speed Koru's going. It is a huge DRS train, but yeah, let's see how this one goes. It's very long. I think it's like 2 minutes 20 or something. But nearing it now, and Keanu on the end of the formation lap has actually put it in the wall. Luckily damage is off, but that's not the confidence you want to be bringing into the session if you are starting on the front row. Line cooking, Reese Thomas now disqualified from the session, but as well as Pink Face, I think was disqualified earlier. So here we go then, to park it up on the grid, and Koru will get into his grid slot. Keanu also coming as well. That seems to be excellent parking from Ben. Koru is alright. Dark Raven has failed his, and that is literally the best possible spot for Keanu's start. But let's see how this one goes. We have 5 lights on ahead of the drivers, and it's lights out and we are underway. It's a great start from Koru, but actually Ben Finch is coming on his inside. It's a great start from the Mercedes, and he's going to go down the inside into turn 1. Ben Finch side by side with Koru, now going in up through Eau Rouge. Keanu and Goncalo Silva are going side by side. So are Mike and the Haas of Thomas. Thomas has to back out. Goncalo Silva slots into 5th place. Ben Finch has unfortunately not made it past the Red Bull. He's going to be putting pressure all the way into the Lecombe section. Green Dragon is out of the session, but on that start, Ben Finch had a great start, and I believe we are under safety car for the stricken Williams at Eau Rouge. So Ben Finch manages to make it past Keanu. For a second it looked like he was gonna get both of them there. Thomas has made up 2 places into P5, and Carlos Silva has dropped 2. Reese Thomas is up 2, Dark Raven down 2, and then you have a few at the back. KP has put himself up into P14. Pink Phase has made up 2, and Pan Polly has, I believe, had a routine spin. So unfortunate for him. I think this is a safety car. I don't know whether it's a VSC or a normal safety. It looks to be. The Delta is plus 34, and there is no safety car. I believe. I believe. Oh no. This isn't a safety car. This is a VSC. There is no safety car on track, and we go green flag again. So no warning from the stewards, and Ben Finch is now charging down. Koru, sorry. Nobody making any moves into the first corner, but that is Pink Face going down the inside of Ollie De Boy. KP is now also going to slot past the Alpine, and that is a spin for Pan Polly. He has had 2 in the first 2 laps of this Grand Prix. KP is now also past Ollie De Boy, but out at the front, Koru has about 4.5 tenths between him and Ben Finch. Keanu also 3 tenths back, and Mike has held his position from Thomas. The line cookie now gets passed as F1 Lewis is in the barriers at the first part of the comms section, and KP is now up into P12, Pink Face just ahead of him, and already Koru is building a gap to the Mercedes drivers, 8 tenths at the moment. Keanu is 8 tenths back from his teammate, and Mike is keeping relatively close to that Mercedes. Is there any moves being made at the back? Pink Face is now looking to get up the inside of the Lion Cookie to add to his tally and make up 5 moves at the start of this Grand Prix, and more yellows in sector 1, and Keanu has spun it. Keanu is in the barriers, Thomas as well, and I wonder what has happened here, but that has taken Keanu completely out of contention for this victory. Keanu is now down 17th place, and he's going to get overtaken here by F1 Lewis. Thomas has also had a spin. Pan Polly's had a spin. Koru sets the fastest lap with a 1:47.2. Ben Finch has now actually dropped off from Koru, and I wonder if that was at the expense of his teammate, who is now in the pit lane. He doesn't speed, but is this a new wing for Keanu? It is. So he is going to go onto the medium tyres, and this hard tyre strategy has completely and utterly failed for him. Mink is getting overtaken by Pink Face, but he's just going to let that one slide. He doesn't need to fight it too hard. And there seems to be no moves except for that at the moment. But Koru has a healthy lead on Ben Finch. KP has also made it up into the points. Pink Face is P7, so he has put the pass of the pass of Mink between him and the Red Bull. But is that a spin there? That looks to be Ollie De Boy. No. The Alpine is round, and he's going to be overtaken all the way down into 17th place. But look at the gap that Koru has. Goncalo Silva's now had a spin. So the Alpine also taking a tumble down the order. Doesn't use reset to track, so he will not be disqualified. Pink Face now gets Dark Raven, and this is great progress from the Ferrari. He's made up 10 places in the space of 4 laps, as well as KP, who now gets past the Haas of Mink. But it didn't seem to be too bad for Thomas. He now gets past EK Cloud, who pulls into the lane. And I think that is because of a new wing on... yeah, that's a new wing for the AlphaTauri driver. And DRS has been activated. Mike is actually fairly close to the Mercedes ahead of him. 1.2 the gap between them. Han Polly has now made it past Infinite Algae. And Thomas is closing in on the Aston Martin as well, on a charge after having a little spin. I don't know whether Thomas may have took avoiding action, or whether him and Keanu's instance were both not connected. But we will see what they say after the race. For now, they just have to focus on improving their position. And the people that are improving their position the most at the moment are Pinkface and KP. Pinkface is now putting on a charge to get past the McLaren, whereas KP is trying to get past the Alfa Romeo. That looked very sketchy on the rear of that Red Bull. I think... oh, Villa 1-0. Fuck. Anyway, KP is now past Dark Raven, and Pinkface is now past McLaren of Reese Thomas. I don't see any other moves going on at the moment. Reese Thomas might actually fight this one back up through Eau Rouge there. And a great little camera angle to see the elevation change. I think he is going to maybe make a move. He's definitely using the ERS. So is the Ferrari. He's going to try hold it around the outside. Nothing doing from great defense from Pinkface, and I think he will now keep that position and move on forwards. And has that been a spin for Dark Raven? It looks to be so, and he's now going to go side by side with the Aston Martin, who he has to back out and let through. Thomas is now in the barriers again. Ah. KP is now closing onto the back of Reese Thomas. I think Thomas has spun it again. Yep. Karu has a 5-second gap to Ben Finch. At least one Haas is in the points at the moment. Mink is 4.2 off KP and might come under pressure from the Lion Cookie if he can gain any time through Eau Rouge. And when he pops on that DRS, he gets another 13 kilometers an hour to help boost him down the straights. But it's under pressure from the Ferrari, who's going to dart around the outside. The Williams has no defence for that. Pinkface has had a spin and is now overtaken by Mink. So there we have it. Mink puts himself up into P6, and the Ferraris are sat in a solemn P7 and 8. Reese Thomas is only 0.8 back on KP, so I think he has just been overtaken though. But Mike is maintaining a solid gap to Ben Finch at the moment. He has about 40% ERS. Ben is on 86, so has the upper hand there. But yeah, Mike is closing that gap up, and he might be trying to get into that DRS window of under a second. At the moment, he is not close enough, but maybe come one or two more laps he might be able to get past, and that is a spin for Dark Raven. So it is not a Ferrari this time around, but there will be a Ferrari move into turn one. Pampoli is going to send it down the inside of Mink, who goes for that undercut and doesn't manage to pull it off, but he might get the exit for them, and a safety car is out, and that has saved Thomas. Ollie De Boy is unfortunately out of the session, and we have a full course safety car, so Koru's lead is going to be wiped to nothing, and it brings all of the cars back into the contest. We will see what Thomas does, whether he comes into the lane. Yes, he does. He does need to go quick because he doesn't want to get lapped by the Red Bull. I don't think he will. Let's go. Yep, I don't think he's going to be lapped today. So he will pop on the hard tyres. He will come out last, but he has a fresh set of tyres on him, which will be able to take him to the end of the Grand Prix, and it puts him back in the contest for points, at least. We can see who comes into the pit lane. Koru is going to peel in. Who else? I don't think anyone inside the top 10 is on the hard, so they won't be going long. Mike comes in as well. KP joins them in the lane, as well as Reese Thomas. Pinkface is going to come in. Pam Polly is going to come in. Mink is going to come in. Lion Cookie's going to come in. Dylan's going to come in. And we might see some movement of positions. KP is going to be held up so much that he's going to come out behind Reese Thomas. So Reese Thomas jumps him in the pit lane. F1 Lewis is in. The man we forgot about, Keanu, is now going to come in as well. After the pit stops, Reese Thomas is ahead of KP. Pinkface is still ahead of Mink. Mink is back ahead of Pam Polly. Dark Raven is going to continue on. He's only one of those tyres for one lap, so he is fine. EK Cloud is going to continue. Goncalo Silva is going to continue, and so will Thomas. So we are behind Bert Mylander and the safety car. So what a hectic couple of laps that has been. The amount of spins was crazy. In this first couple of laps, but now everyone is on the hard tyres apart from Infinite Algae and Dark Raven. Tyres might be aching a little bit by the end of the session. So we saw the optimum window was 11 to 13, and they are boxing on lap 7, 7 and 6. So let's just see how this one goes on the safety car restart. Who will be quickest on the different compound? And I think next time around the safety car will be in. So we have a long time to wait. Power saves behind. Everyone is behind the safety car now, so we just have to wait another 2 minutes. At the moment, Koru is the person with the fastest lap. So the order is for, if you are a blind person, Koru, Ben, Finch, Reese Thomas, KP, Pinkface, Mink, Mike, Pam Polly, The Lion Cookie, Dylan MC, F1 Lewis, Infinite Algae, Dark Raven, Keanu Dan 14, EK Cloud, Goncalo Silva, and Thomas Annie rounds the order, and then Ollie the Boy and Gren Dragon, both unfortunately DNF'd for them. So, going on to lap 10, the safety car will be in, and we can get this Grand Prix back underway. If we're doing... Here we go then. Koru slows down the pack, trying to get as much temperature in the tyres as humanly possible. KP is almost side by side with Reese Thomas. You can see them all getting very, very, very touchy with each other. And when is he going to pull the trigger? I think he's already pulled the trigger. Koru has already bolted. Ben Finch is right on his gearbox. And once they get to that checkered flag, Goncalo Silva is out of the session. He's been knocked out on a straight. Ben Finch is down into P5. Reese Thomas up into P2. KP Games is going to be putting massive pressure on that McLaren. He's now up into P3. Pinkface P4. He's now under pressure from Ben Finch. Pinkface has now ceded the position. Mike is down into 6th. I wonder what happened with that restart, because now both the Alpines are out of the session. KP is going to get the move done down the Kemmel straight. Reese Thomas is going to try and fight this in the slipstream, but he's not going to have enough straight line speed. F1 Lewis gets a 3-second time penalty. Dylan now moves down into P11. And the race settles back down. And that was a very hectic restart, but Koru now has a 2-second lead over his teammate. Pinkface now up into P3. Reese Thomas is staying P4 at the moment, but he's going to be under massive pressure from Ben Finch, who's going to try go around the outside of Puon. Has to stick behind for now. We have yellows, and Thomas has retired from the session. And that brings a day of misery to an end for the Haas driver. And he is going to be fucking fuming. Anyway, Back to Reese Thomas. He is under pressure from Ben Finch. Mike is also close at the back of that Mercedes, and then it is a DRS train, apart from Mink, who's fell off a bit from the Ferrari, but Koru has a 2.6 second advantage over his teammate, and KP is going to be under pressure from Pinkface when the DRS is activated, so another lap before proper battling can commence with DRS. Ben Finch now gets past Reese Thomas, but Reese Thomas is not going to give this one up too easily. He has 6. Look how close he is to the back of that Mercedes. He's going to be using his ERS, so is Ben Finch, but he has the slipstream on the back of that Mercedes. He's going to go to the inside of the Lacombe section. Can he get this move done down the inside? Ben Finch is going to try hold it, but he cannot hold it long enough, and Reese Thomas, after a great move, gets back up into P4, but Ben Finch is going to send it down the inside into Ravage. Can Reese Thomas hold it around the outside? He's going to get the inside line for the next corner, but he cannot manage to do it, and Ben Finch, after a small battle with Reese Thomas, manages to get up into P4 again. Dark Raven is now out of the session as well. So 5 DNFs here. And KP is just losing time to Koru. Gap now 3.5 seconds. Pinkface is only 0.3 back. And when we enter this next lap, DRS is activated, so DRS is activated on this lap, and Pinkface will be looking to get the move done on KP. Corey sets the fast lap with a 46.9. And as we enter the detection point, Pinkface is going to pick up the DRS for the Kemmel Straight. So we will go on board with the Ferrari and see if he can get the move done. He has the battery to do so. KP may have more, but he still has a good amount. And now he's going to pull to the inside of the Lacombe section. Is KP going to fight this one around the outside? No. He cedes the position to the Ferrari, and the Ferrari is now going to try to escape as quickly as possible so he can get out of the DRS of KP when the next detection point comes, which is over a minute away down towards the bus stop chicane. So he has the time to do it, but does he have the pace is what we are focusing on. F1 Lewis loses a position to Dylan, who is now up into the points. The line cookie is still pressurising Mink, who's getting a bit of a DRS train formed behind him. He says he's running quite low wings. Line cookie said he has more speed on the straight, so will that speed translate to keeping the position ahead of the Williams? We will see, but Mike is now putting pressure on Reese Thomas. This is fighting for 6th place. At the moment, it's best of the rest. The order: Koru, Pinkface, KP, Ben Finch, Pampoli. Is there an issue on that Red Bull? Because KP has already fallen 1.5 seconds back from Pinkface and is falling into the clutches of Ben Finch. Ben Finch is going to have the DRS come the next DRS zone, which is only in 1 corner time. Pampoli is too far back to be picking up any sort of tow. But Mike is also going to get the DRS on Reese Thomas this time around. I don't think Ben is close enough to make a move, but Mike will be close enough. Going up through a Rouge, he loses a bit of time on the exit, but he's going to gain that all back with the DRS and ERS usage. And I think we're going to see the move on the inside of the Lacombe section. They go side by side into the next corner. Is Reese Thomas going to manage to hold it? Mike spins round, and that is going to send him all the way to the back of the grid. And I think there was contact made between the two of them. I wouldn't be surprised if we see a report, as Infinite Algae now tries to go down the inside of EK Cloud. EK Cloud leaves just enough room, and Infinite Algae makes a great move on the inside of Ravage. Keanu has now spun it as well, and F1 Lewis actually has to get out of the way because he has lost his wing. Keanu, I think his is intact. Ben Finch is now putting pressure on KP for that last podium place. And what is going on at the moment? Ben will get the DRS, and he's going to be a lot closer than he was last time around. Mike, unfortunately for him, is now dropped out of the points. He's going to have to get past Keanu, his teammate, and Infinite Algae if he wants a few or even 1 point in this Belgium Grand Prix. We are on to lap 14 now, and Ben Finch again is going to get the DRS. KP has gained a bit of time back on Pinkface, but not enough to get into his DRS zone. Ben Finch has dropped a bit far back, so it's not going to help him too much this time around. He's actually a second difference. KP is 1.1 behind Pinkface. And he doesn't have the DRS, but he might have started to push now. Maybe he was just saving his tyres a bit. EK Cloud now gets past Infinite Algae, and so does Keanu, so must have had a terrible exit off one of the corners, and Mike is going to try and pick up the scraps from this fight. KP now gets a 3-second time penalty, and that could be crucial come the end of the race. He is the only one alongside both Aston Martins to have a penalty. Keanu now gets past EK Cloud for that final place, and Mike spins around. Horrible afternoon after contact with Reese Thomas. Mike is now the last... sorry, not last driver. F1 Lewis's last driver. But he is second last after fighting for P6. Ben Finch is super close to KP once again. I think KP might have the straight line speed, which is going to annoy Ben because he just can't get close enough on the straights. He has the edge through the corners, you can see. He just picks up so much time on the exit, but I don't know how close he can get this time around. KP seems to get a brilliant exit off the first corner and up through Eau Rouge with the straight line speed of that Red Bull. But here we go then, round 4 this time. Ben Finch is only 4/10 back, and we can just see how much time he loses. And the ERS usage, 76% compared to 21% that Ben has, shows Ben is pushing a lot more at the moment than KP maybe is. But KP is going to have to start pushing in these last 7 laps if he wants to hold on to that podium place after picking up that penalty. And we still have a DRS train, and that is EK Cloud in the wall. And I think he's beached his AlphaTauri. He's beached his AlphaTauri. And I think that's going to be the end of the day for him. That was a reset to track. Oh, poor lad. It's so hard to get beached. I don't know how he's managed it. But look how close he is now. Is Ben Finch going to go for a move into the bus stop chicane? Just look at the ERS. KP can just shove on that ERS button and go 3/10 up the road whenever he pleases. Ben Finch doesn't have that luxury, and especially he doesn't have the DRS, the ERS, sorry, that KP is storing. But he seems quite close this time around. And just see how quickly he's trying to get on the throttle to catch up to the Red Bull. The gap 3/10 at the moment. But let's just watch on board with KP. Because I think now he's going to activate his ERS. No, he doesn't even need doesn't actually need to activate the ERS to stay ahead. But yeah, there is 14 drivers remaining. Mink is still leading the line cookie, and I don't think, unless Mink makes a horrible mistake, that the line cookie will be taking that P7 away, especially with the penalty that he has now picked up. There's a slight train forming now behind KP, and as it finishes, KP will be dropped to P5, Ben Finch up to P3, and Pan Polly up to P4. But all could change in these last couple of laps. 6 remaining. Jesus. Six laps remaining. If Infinite Algae now picks up a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings, KP enters lap 18 now. Oh no, sorry, it's still 17. Lap 17, we have yellow sector 3, and that is Mike, who has exited the session. I assume he's just given up. But Ben Finch looks a lot closer this time around. No moves going to be made into Lecom. Look how close he's getting. Oh, Ben's lost it. Ben has lost it on the grass. Oh, so unfortunate for him. He might lose a place here to Reese Thomas, and no, I think he's going to be alright. Now KP, the worst he's going to drop to is P4 after the penalty. But let's see if Pam Polly can make up any more ground and maybe get past the Red Bull, who seems to be an absolute bullet in a straight line. Eight tenths back going into Eau Rouge. 70% still on that Red Bull, and Pam Polly is using DRS. And with the DRS, he's actually dropped out of range, and he's only gained about 200 using the DRS, sorry. You see how much he gains through the corners. KP is obviously running lower wings. Mink now picks up a 3-second penalty, and that could actually become crucial. That might have happened while he was letting Keanu through. Keanu is now back up into P7, Ben Finch P6, but he is putting on the pressure to Reese Thomas, and I think Reese Thomas is going to get overtaken into the bus stop chicane. No, not this time around. So it's going to be at Eau Rouge that Ben Finch is going to strike, or it might be into the first corner. 3/10 the gap, 2/10, 1.5 tenths, and I think he's going to send it down the inside now. No, he does stick behind, so he's playing it smart, trying to get that DRS to breeze past, going down the Camel Straight, activates the ERS, and get a lovely camera shot of him going up through Eau Rouge, and now opening the DRS and ERS, and this should be a pretty basic move, but he's actually quite far behind the McLaren, and there's going to be no moves done on that occasion. So Ben Finch is going to have to wait at least another lap, or maybe until the into Blanchemont maybe, and the bus stop chicane. Pampoli is still 7/10 back from KP, so managing a gap there is the Red Bull. Ben Finch 3/10 back on Rhys Thomas. This must be frustrating for Ben Finch, who just wants to get on with it. Still 1-0. Here we go then, round 29 of Ben Finch versus Rhys Thomas. Ooh, Rhys Thomas playing the mind games. Who's going to get the DRS? It's going to be Rhys Thomas, so a risky one. They're both on exactly the same ERS, so they are going to be spam using through Eau Rouge, and this might be smart tactics here by the McLaren driver. And yeah, he is just going to breeze past on the straight. 2 laps remaining, and Rhys Thomas is playing this to an absolute T for P5. Keanu is catching, but not by a lot. And I don't think he'll be there by the end of the race. Gap is 2.9 at the moment, and Ben Finch is going to go for the inside of Puon, and that is going to be a great move by the Mercedes. Rhys Thomas has to bail off the track, and an unorthodox place to get a move done. Sorry, I'm fucking stuttering. Rhys Thomas is now down though into P6, and Ben Finch is 13 points behind Pan Polly, so that is the time he lost by Stefan Lewis with a 3-second time penalty. And Pinkface gets the fastest lap with a 46.6. So yeah, let's see what Pan Polly and KP are up to. They are oh, this has worked a treat for KP. I think he's going to pick up the DRS. Yes. So KP gets the DRS off Ben Finch. Rhys Thomas has run out of ERS, so has Ben Finch, so they're both flashing, both with 5% ERS, and they are both using it. So on the exact same amount of battery, they both run out. And is there going to be a move? He's gaining, he's going to go down the inside. He absolutely sends it. The McLaren, he has to put on the brakes. Ben Finch now gets him back. And this is a great little tussle between the McLaren and the Mercedes. Both on 0 ERS. And that was a great move by Rhys Thomas to get him down the inside. And then Ben Finch just played smart with him and broke earlier and got the switch back on the McLaren. AK Cloud now has got past Infinite Algae, and all of those last 4 spots are occupied by either an Aston Martin or an Alpha Tauri. And Koru now starts, just rounding the final corner, is going to start his last lap of the day. And this has been a commanding victory from the Red Bull, but it's not over yet for that final podium place. Pan Polly has actually picked up a penalty, so this is where it happens. KP still has 50% ERS. Pan Polly has 10%, and he's already using it. I don't know why. He's going to have none going down the straight. He's going to run out of battery, and he's going to cut the track as well to gain a bit more time, but it's not going to be enough. KP is going to use his ERS wisely, and it will not be enough for Pan Polly. We have yellow sector 3, and oh, Pan Polly's in the wall. Pan Polly has lost his wing. No, he hasn't. He's got away with it, and he just needs to be a bit careful. This is the final lap. He doesn't need to be taking these risks. Even though he is fighting for the podium, it's better to finish P4 than it is to finish with a DNF. Finish with a DNF, that doesn't make sense, does it? End the race with a DNF. But this has been a very, very commanding victory from Koru. He took pole by around 0.02 of a second to Keanu. He said he'd go bold if Keanu beat him in qualifying. Unfortunately, that didn't happen. But in the race today, he has avoided the chaos. He survived a VSC and a safety car. And for the second time in 2 races, Koru takes home the victory in Belgium and wins for Red Bull. Another 25 points to his tally. And although he might be out of this championship fight, he is definitely fighting for P2. Yellow's in sector 3, and that's Keanu. Keanu has had a spin on the final lap. Pinkface P2. KP takes a great drive in P3. Pan Polly P4. Ben Finch is going to finish up in... Ben Finch has just lost more points. Brees Thomas takes home P5. Dylan finishes P9. Keanu finishes out the points. EK Cloud finishes P11. Infinite Algae will finish P12 on his debut for Aston Martin. A decent drive from him, not what he would have wanted. And F1 Lewis will finish 30 seconds back from his teammate. And that's the end of the race, so finish this up quick. I have to go watch Saints game. There we go then. Koru on the top step of the podium for the second time. And you have that ugly ass overalls for Ferrari. And KP, who started in P17 after a shit qualifying, getting knocked out in Q1, comes home to take that final podium place. So, a good result for him, a good result for Pinkface as well, who also had a terrible quali to mention. He started P17, I believe. So both of them with great drives. Let me just take a picture of race results, and then we can finish up here. That was a decent race. We've had more interesting ones, but there was a lot of spins to say the least. So Koru to take home the victory. Pinkface and then KP, and we will see you next time.